He is the CEO of Business Plus Services, a leading digital marketing transformation agency in Africa focused on helping organizations and companies in both the public and private sectors. He's going to be speaking on capacity building, how to build a tech career, building a business from scratch. Welcome, Ekundayo Ayeni.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We're talking about your profile. It was a lot.
It's overwhelming.
Overwhelming, really. And I am wondering, how is it that you took up this opportunity quite early? What was the point of interest for you? Because there are a lot of young people out there who are wondering what to do with their time, and tech seems to be that space that they can take advantage of.
Okay, so I would say I happened to fall into the opportunity of early starters through the career path and all of that. I started business while I was on campus. I remember having to sell diskettes back in the days.
Oh, wow.
Wow, diskettes. I can't remember that one.
So I'd done a couple of sales in my early days, and I studied computer science, mathematics and computer science. So, and we had this lab where you go drop your student ID card back in the days, and you're just able to use the computer for 1 hour. So I borrow as many people's ID card, and then for exchange of those in computer time. So people are not typically interested, but I was just going there to explore. So by my 200, we had started a team where we were doing programming, and there were not so many languages then. So it was C language and C++. So those IBs, you know, high coding languages then. And we moved on, and gradually post graduation, I went to serve. I remember getting to the NYC camp, went to the OBS, and on camp, I went to camp with like 3,000 naira, and you know, Alawi was barely, they were just making it 7,000 or so at the time. And I made 90K on camp. You know, selling CDs.
Wait,
because
camp, that's the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, first 3 weeks. I said. So somehow, you know, they spotted me, put me in a place. 2 weeks into my NYC had made about 500,000 installing DSTVs and dish and all of that. So there had always been that thing that makes me want to look for opportunities. So I just see people and I say, okay, what can be sold here? So that moved early. And then in 2009, I was privileged to have this man who was willing to invest to start something like the property websiting we do now. And I was new in Lagos, you know. I came to Lagos just that same year. I struggled, you know, all the normal struggles where my first 3 days, there was no accommodation. I was staying somewhere under the bridge with those guys in Fadi because there was no place to stay. So I just had to figure out life. And then I had to print about 200 CVs, and I was just distributing like flyers all around VI, you know, just going everywhere. So that in itself was enough drive.
Now, my concern is that we have too many young Nigerian graduates bereft of how to go now. Okay. Some people, for want of maybe, you know, the bad education system now, universities, they ended up with a result that makes them unemployable. How do we do, what do we do with this large chunk of our youth? So
I buffered the solution. Last week I was on Yahoo Finance and Yahoo News and all of that. And I said something there. Over the past 2 years, we've trained close to 1,000+ young people, and currently have about 200 of them on the payroll, paid monthly. And the model was very simple. So the first style we went was we went to the market and just got people who were of disadvantaged backgrounds. We brought them in, about 15 of them initially, a bit 20, yeah. We started training using our own resource over 3 months. It was a lot of struggle, getting them to learn computer appreciation first, understanding what computer is first. Then there are some essential skills that we now focus on. For example, graphics is a very high demand skill. Yes. Yeah. Within 4 weeks, you can develop someone to become that efficient and that effective in graphics. Another high demand skill is writing, understanding how to write, creative writing, skillful writing. These are skills you can sell over the internet because of the current demand of the society. Most times we don't develop these things because we want to sell. We'll go learn things that we cannot trade over the internet.
It is important to understand the current demand.
Exactly.
Don't learn things that you can't trade.
You can't trade, yeah. So Another skill you need to look at is, even if it's basic WordPress, how to understand how to develop website, WordPress. Do 2 weeks of intensive coaching on that, you would learn. You can do it. I started by, I sat down, I'd done 41 certifications across board, Google, HubSpot, all of that. So I'd seen spectrum of where are my demands coming from, at least to meet my basic need. So for everybody who had gone through this kind of trainings with us, we noticed they don't go short of, they don't go unemployed.
I feel like young Nigerians have grown up into a society of just complainers, and that's what they have learned. If you were to speak to them, where would you tell them to start, towards changing an attitude and having an attitude of, we can make it?
Okay, so in my 300 level, I had an issue. It was 5 days to closure of payment of school fees. And you know the thing in Nigeria, once there's late payment, the fees increase. I think my school fees was about 5,000 then. I took my admission letter and I went across the road, those guys that sell flash and all of that in front of the school. And I gave them my admission letter. I said to the guy around 8 in the evening that, give me 20 flash. I'll go and sell it. Before daybreak, I sold 18. I was going from room to room in the hostels and all of that. I got my school fees from the profits. Now, it's that attitude that you need, because Nigeria will not help you succeed. Nobody is willing to help you. Nobody is coming to help you. Just believe that from me.